Alrighty, folks. You know, I was talking earlier today about Corner Boy. I don't know how many people remember Corner Boy. It was 7 or 8 months ago now, but freaking Corner Boy. That video is still blowing up. I think it brought a lot of people into the channel. Anyways, Corner Boy was a player who would build TCs on the corner of Nomad and did so on this map. It seems as though that player is inactive. I've been looking for him. So I don't have that for you, but I have this. 900 elo. We've got Blue playing as the Malians, and he's dropped his TC towards the north of the map. And then Red has gone down to the very corner, the very southern corner anyways, and sure took his time deciding on where to build that TC. And again, Nomad start. You do not start with a scout on this map, so it's kind of hard to know where the opponent is and where resources are. The key points of this map, though, is that the big wood lines are on the sides, okay? And then there's fish that you can mill to take food, and then lots of other food sources like sheep and rhinos and zebra. The start's much faster for Blue, so Blue will probably have a villager or two lead. However, Blue is more centralized on the map, which some players, like the Corner Boy, would see as a concern. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Corner Boy, see if he's back. Because the thing is he pretty much just wouldn't play if it wasn't African clearing. He wasn't playing other maps. Because it was the only map, it was like a Nomad start, you can go to the corner. Because standard Nomad, there's water, right? And there's no like wood in the corner, so it didn't make sense to like try and go to the corner of standard Nomad. Okay, so let's talk some basics here about this map, okay? First basic, obviously you want to get your TC pumping as soon as possible. But, you know, another big thing would be scouting with sheep. Since you don't have a scout, if you have sheep, they pretty much should just be your scouts. And if you lose the sheep somewhere, you'll know that that's where the enemy is. So it doesn't look like Blue actually has any sheep. So what I'd encourage Blue to do at some point is maybe just use a villager to run around and scout. The Red's going to make a nice little wall off here already. I was just saying before this because some people were requesting Arabia. Other people wanted me to cover Arena. I was just saying how you can kind of get the best of both worlds if you cast African Clearing, because you got different player styles there, right? So we'll see. So far, it seems like Democracy Manifest here in the Red prefers the more secure style. Another thing is you want to prioritize, or you don't need to prioritize wood as quickly on this map. You should, like, if you compare it to a normal game, if your TC's against wood, you don't need to make lumber camp like you would in a normal game, right? So that's what I mean by not prioritizing wood. And Malian save resources in other wood buildings. And look at this. Blue's actually made a barracks. So something tells me that he maybe wants to make a militia just to scout the map. It's an idea. It's quite a bit of investment to have to rush the barracks down early. Then make the militia as well, because it's 60 food and 20 gold. I'd probably suggest you just use a villager, but honestly, Blue, go for it. This would be fun. Let's go. Look at Red's score just from scouting with sheep. Doing a great job. He's also checking the edges. Like, he seems to think that this is always the best spot. I don't necessarily think that this is always the best spot up against the edge, because it depends on your villager spawns. But I think it makes the game easier to play, because you don't need to worry about the east or the west. You don't need to worry about the south. You just worry about going north. Ooh, and okay, so Red has lost a sheep here. And it is not directly where Blue is, but that should give Blue an idea. Red an idea that Blue is over there some way. Stash, I can't tell you what's happening this weekend because I don't know what's happening this weekend, which is why the schedule says TBD, which is to be determined, or to be decided, or to be disrupted, or to be damned. Yeah, I don't know. Tournaments aren't scheduled more than a week in advance sometimes, and I may or may not be doing something on one of the weekend days. So, thank you for being hyped, though. I will let you guys know when I know what I'm doing. You missed my joke? Okay, gotcha. I have to pick and choose words that I read because of this thrilling African clearing game. It's tough for me sometimes to catch everything. So, okay, here comes the elephant. Elephant's very upset. He's just been shot in the face with an arrow. I don't blame him. And this is going to be a good food source for Blue. And Elephant's spinning in a circle. Oh, my God, the spinorama. Nice shot from Blue. Because he was just about to run out of fish here. But yeah, like right here, you could aim to place another mill. Right? Here, you could aim to place another mill. It should be kind of your game plan. Look at the scouting from Red. Red is an African clearing beast. I think it's obvious which player favorited this map, right? There's no doubt in my mind that Red prefers this map over all other maps and is the one who put the little star on it. Look, he's even pushing the freaking zebra in towards his mill. Talk about a pro. Dang. Well played. Now, what's funny is he's not experienced enough to remember he needs another building here. Because what he wants to do is he wants to click up to feudal. But you need 2 Dark Age buildings. Remember I said in a normal game, you usually have a lumber camp and then the mill? That's your 2 Dark Age buildings. Because he didn't need the lumber camp here because he's on the TC, he's forgotten it. And I think he's just now dawned on him. And he's like, oh, crap, we gotta rush it. Dude, just make another vill. Just make another villager. Come on, man. This is going to take enough time. All right, well, Blue's got the villager lead. Maintains that villager lead. Blue's scouting with the militia. Blue has found a bunch of sheep with that militia. Blue's on the food here. And who knows what the strategy will be for Blue, but Blue's done a good job recovering with the scouting. Militia, in the end, worth it. I think you could always justify using a vill. Oh, God. I'm not sure if this guy will survive. It's going to be really close. Save your friend! Don't block him! Don't block him! Oh! What? Whoa, that was so sick. I'm sure Blue will say that was all calculated, but I really thought that guy was going to go down. He was 1 hit away from going down. Don't go back for more there, buddy. You really just can't handle it. Take a break. You did good work. Okay. You know, I've covered games on this map before where the Bulgarians will go for Krepos drop. It's a building unique to them, which is like a mini castle. Democracy Manifest has scouted a lot of this map and seems to know that the enemy is located here. You can actually see the elephant in the fog. And that's not just a casting thing. You can see dead animals in areas you've scouted. The red looks there will know the enemy is located in that position. I'm concerned for Red because Red is so scared of the outside world that Red is not venturing out for food at all. Right? Like, we still don't have any villagers here or here. There's no sheep. Or, excuse me, I guess there's 1 sheep. I mean, you can turn this into a game where you just farm now for food. But I don't think the castle age time is going to be that impressive for Red. Blue, on the other hand, has continued to bring in all resources. Blue's done a really good job there. And Blue's going to drop an archery range. And Blue can't find the enemy. He's looking around. He's like, man, is this guy going full corner boy on me? I know he's not the corner boy, but it would make sense for corner boy. Maybe he changed his name. Maybe he doesn't want people to know what he's doing because T90 ruins people's strategies. Check the right corner, not over there. Okay, check the left corner. It's going to take him some time. But I take it back. Like, maybe Blue is actually the one who's experienced in these settings, because the more I look at this, the more I feel like he actually has had the much better start. Resources collected, probably much higher for him. Woof! Yeah, maybe Red saw the Corner Boy video, felt like that's a good strategy. It seems like past the, you know, just the Dark Age, he's not quite as comfortable continuing to take the resources and like the sheep and the elephants and whatever else. Should you continue to fish from ponds and feudal? Yeah, so the idea is, like, if you're afraid that you're going to lose villagers, that's an understandable thought. And that's what Red is thinking. He's like, I don't want to lose villagers, so I'm not going to take that risk. I would suggest a balance first off, so I wouldn't say put your whole economy out there, but like 5 villagers here, 3 villagers here is fine, and then you can farm as well, right? So a combination's good. But also, you could just make sure you have some army, right? Like, if you're going to take the risk for really good food income, why not go for scouts and spend some of that food at the same time, just to make yourself feel better, you know? Wow, this is so good from blue. If blue knew where red was, blue would dominate him. This is insane. Double archer range. On the way to Castle Age. I wonder if we'll see blue find red at this point. But this is just, having this much on wood is just so bad for your eco at this stage. You need to have more food. And not even having like horse color on the farms, right? So the farms will expire at some stage. Fun fact, Corner Boy actually played Arabia and Budapest before he went inactive. Really? That's a fun fact. Did blue find him? Militia has located the enemy. Enemy sighted, whatever that taunt is. I forget which one. So, okay. No upgrades on the archers. There's also only 2 archers. So while blue has done a really good job, it doesn't look like blue's actually going to push. Look at the scouting from red, though. Red is a scouting god. And okay, if he looks there, he will see the ranges. His farming is simply just much slower than villagers on shorefish and hunt. That's just the way to look at it here. Red does done a good job producing villagers consistently. Has more villagers now. But blue is in Castle Age. And we'll see what blue wants to do with the Castle Age. Second TC would make sense as an option. Upgrading the army would make sense as an option. But we don't really have a lot of it. Again, all wood buildings are discounted with the Malians. Kind of like how blue's also making some walls. He is being maybe a little overly ambitious with the whole stone gate thing. But he might not have... Maybe it's a classic player and he doesn't have a Palisade gate hotkey. That was me for a while. But then I changed my stone gate hotkey to a Palisade gate hotkey. And I actually still to this day do not have a stone gate hotkey. It feels weird to say. It's actually really bad. I need to get a stone gate hotkey, but I've still not done it. I noticed the same actually from red. He also has gone for the stone gate. I wonder if also the positioning of the gates in the build menu, I wonder if that plays its role. I think it's on the same page, but something to think about. Blue's got the res. Not really spending them right now. And there goes red. Now, the thing about farming, this is what makes this game so fun, guys. The thing about farming, while it is slow, it is consistent. Especially if you have auto farm as default, which 99% of players do. So that's going to be 19 on food that is consistently coming in. So blue has not used his time window to punish red, right? He could have spent his resources, made a big mass, and been punishing. He hasn't done that. Red is going to have quite a few resources to work with in the Castle Age. And then blue's going to have to sort out the farm situation. Because blue's going to have a point where blue's like, oh crap, I don't have any food income anymore because I've relied on sheep or whatever. And, you know, red's got some potential as we have the Great Wall of freaking China over here. Oh my goodness. So we got stonewalling from blue. Because I think blue saw this and was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. I should wall too. Okay. Which key do you use for your gate hotkey? X, I think. Or I. Actually, it's so weird. When I'm not in the game, I can't actually remember. I'm trying to think. No, it's I. It's not the most convenient. But I've got to be able to find something for Stonegate. I just need to get around to it. And like any hotkey, you just get used to it. Like this past year, I changed my Palisade hotkey because I was pressing BP to build a Palisade. Oh, first kill of the game. First kill of the game. And BP is just horrible when you're trying to quick wall. So I changed it, and it didn't take me very long to get used to it. Doink! Oh, yeah. Democracy is just manifested in your face, villager. I guess the back of your head, but same thing. Kind of. All right, let's go, red. He's got the camels chasing him. Seems very afraid. but he's using this time to make the counter to the camel, which is spearman, and he's doing that from home. Is going to move out here and expand, breathe a little bit. Blue has the lead in this game. But, you know, we've got 4 TCs to take care of, which is going to be a little bit tricky. Nice job from Red. He doesn't care. His scout's alive. His scout is seeing what his opponent's doing. Might get a little bit scared, though. It's amazing how little TCs do to... Like, how little damage TCs do to scouts sometimes. I still think the way TC projectiles shoot is just broken. There's something wrong with it. You will take more damage when you're standing out here than you do when you're underneath the TC. Something's wrong. It's been like that ever since DE came out, but it feels like it's only gotten worse. Anyways, the scout is faster. So the scout should never die if the scout is always moving. Yeah, Mira, if you're questioning why I said the word democracy, I would do 16 cartwheels, call your mom and say you love her, and then look at your screen at the bottom right, and that'll answer your question. Viper keeps cursing TC fire as well. Yeah, the scout's going at it again. Blue's going to be cursing this. Yeah, there's something wrong with TC fire, man. It's always been that way on DE. But I honestly, I think we should just accept it because I don't trust them to change the way projectiles work without breaking a million other things. They have too much PTSD. Obviously not true serious PTSD. Probably the wrong use of that, but you know what I mean. So I like how Red's played it. I like how Blue's played it. It's been a really good game. Red's going to just fortify up with a crep post. So not offensive, more defensive. Blue's sick of this. Like, all the villagers have heard about this scout at this point. And, well, Blue's still trying to chase down this freaking scout. And you just might as well make your own scout at this point, Blue. Because the camel situation's just not cutting it. Oh, wait. Nope. Red's actually producing out of his villagers. Oh, they're going to convert it. And with it, they will take the scout's power and all of his knowledge. Nope. However, this is going to be walled, and I think this scout will be clicked this way, and it'll go sideways. Oh, boy. Dude, this is insane. You've got 2 monks trying to chase this thing down. You've got 4 camels trying to chase this thing down. The crossbowmen are missing. This is insane. There's a militia now. Red is such a beast. Oh, no. Oh, what a life. What a life. Well, maybe Hardy can do a short with that at some point. That was a nice little clip. Well, finally, Blue gets to move forward. Red's going to drop TC number 3. Now, Red has done an exceptional job producing out of the 2 TCs that are here, but Blue has 4. So Blue has struggled with the food eco like we thought he would because he doesn't have the farms. He does have more villagers right now. That's why this map is pretty cool, though, right? There's pros and cons of all decisions. So Blue had the resource lead before, but I bet you Red is going to catch up because Red has more consistent food eco due to the farms. Now, Blue knows where Red is, but had lost the militia over here, so doesn't really have any additional intel. Okay. So let's think about kind of what army composition should look like. So the thing about Malians is you kind of have a counter to everything. Bulgarians is not really the case. I think with Bulgarians, you want to make use of infantry and cavalry. You can go for something like Cav Archer, but just look at your unique techs of your Bulgarians. You have 1 unique tech, which means your Cav attacks 33% faster. So there you go. Stable units. The other one gives you tons of armor to your 2-handed swordsman. So when I play Bulgarians, I'm wanting to play through those types of units. And then you can kind of adapt it from there. Malians, they have good cav and infantry as well. But they've got, like, the counter options, right? So you could go, like, camels against your opponent's cav, for example. So, but yeah, it's kind of hard to know. Like, I feel like at this point, playing you know, to attack your opponent and trying to get over there and see what they're doing at the very least would be really good for either player. Red, kind of liking what he's building up towards here. All the production buildings, and clearly he's thinking about Imp. This is good. Like, this is a really good game, guys. And these guys are pretty skilled, man. 900 Elo's no joke. It is still, per my definition, low Elo Legends, but I think true low Elo Legends would maybe be 750 and below these days. Should I maybe make a video and make a statement? I don't want my 900 Elo viewers to also think you have it all together. You don't, but that's cool. You guys have some skills, though. You've got some strats. The hotkeys are there. The game knowledge is definitely there to an extent. I like the Krepos in defense here. But we don't have a castle. I've had this happen before, where I spend so much stone on Krepos, and then I don't have a castle for the unique techs. Look at Red trying to split up. Oh, man. He's going to try and do the same thing as he did before. He's sending different groups of scouts out. Almost looks like he clicked them all in different spots so he could get information here. Interesting. That tells him his opponent has an army there. That it's like a big blob of army. So again, I just say, like, Bulgarians do a fantastic job of not spending gold. So you just go light cav, try and raid. I think siege workshops on the side will be super cool. Like right here, maybe. Someone says, I don't even know how to get below 900 Elo, ... Sounds like a flex to me, bro. That sounds like a flex. I couldn't even try to get below. How is that possible? That's a flex. All right. You didn't mean it as a flex? That was a flex. The red scouts looking over the enemy walls, trying to see what's happening. Not seeing a ton of blacksmith upgrades from blue. And by that, I mean we have 0 blacksmith upgrades in for blue. Blue's got the food count up to a more respectable number, though. But it's not farms. It's still a mix. I think at this stage, you wouldn't want any hunt because it's just so much work to click those villagers around to the hunt. We don't have a castle yet for red. Remember, blacksmith technologies are discounted with the Bulgarians, and they also come in much faster. That's all good. Honestly, 900 Elo is very decent. Some people have a real-life smiley face. All right, there's the coping from the other side of things. Someone, if they're above 900 Elo, they can't have a real life. They must not have a job. They must not have friends. They must not have a family. They must not have this. You can have a real life and also still have high Elo, okay? But yes, more time investment definitely helps. Imp is on the way for blue. It's been an interesting game where blue at one point had beaten red to the castle age by pretty significant margin. But now red makes it to the Imperial Age faster. Resources collected. It's quite close. Blue still ahead. Banking lots of gold. I'm not sure blue knows what to make. So again, guys, I want to talk about this. I think it helps all you people. Especially you people who maybe have a real life, who need more tips. I'm just kidding. The best way to play the game in general, I think it's going to help you guys, is take a unit that's really good for your civ and just focus on making that. If they make a counter or if you see something, then you combine something else with that unit to counter it or play well against it, right? So like in this case, if I'm Malians, I would just say like full Cavalier. A really good Cavalier with the Farimba upgrade, you get all the extra attack, okay? If your opponent's then making Halbs, then you say, okay, what's good with my Cavalier? And that could be like crossbow, arbalest, you know, hand cannon, champion. Then you make the decision from there. Now, what you can also do, and what these guys are kind of doing, is you just kind of like make a bunch of everything, and then you just throw it all together in the blender and see what happens. right? So, the blender, of course, being the battlefield of life. Or, wait, or is the battlefield the blender of AoE? You know what I mean. Blue technically is more map control. But red, oh, dude, this is a viewer. No, you make one more treb here, sir. Okay, well, it's not trickle trebbing, but it's just shy of what I would typically want. I'd normally like to see 4 trebs. 3 trebs, though, good from red. And he's just ready. He's like, all right, if he sends something in, I'm ready for it. This is perfect. Obviously, way better than just going in with 1 treb. We're going to have Cavalier. We have Stirrups now, so these things attack faster. Well as the Conics do. And what does Blue do? Blue's like, oh no, there are trebs. I have to deal with this. I was not ready for this. I am terrified of life. This is scary. But good recognition from Blue to not try and engage there. Because if you engage there, you would get destroyed. I don't know if Blue has the speed to be able to spend resources. At the pace that's needed. We have guilds. What a tech to research when you're up against it. You really need to spend your res right now, Blue, and get a big old army. Because red he's prepared. Okay, blacksmith upgrades are starting to come in. There's the panic blacksmith upgrade click. I would say it's worth it to go for a second blacksmith if you can. And the timing on this attack from red, very well played. I like it. Doesn't know about this castle, so can't take care of that. Good thing about the Malians is their university techs are faster. Why are 3 trebs not ideal? 3 trebs are fine. I always suggest 4. 4 feels like the perfect number before you go in. Because even if they have the army to come deal with your trebs, you're usually taking the castle out with 4. More often than not. It's a very situational thing. A big fight here, but red is winning this fight. Even though he's up against some units that could be seen as counter units. I just, it looked like the trade was better for him. Maybe I'm wrong. Pretty close. Ballistics upgrade in the university. And it's going to complete because red... Oh, whoa. Wait, what? Red clicked what? The siege workshop. Okay. So you have your eco setup, both of you. So now it's you control your units. You make your army. But making army is the biggest part of the battle here. So making army, taking the fights, sending all your army here. I'm seeing the unit production from Red's looking quite good. He's kind of producing out of everything. And he's sending them all to the same area. Blue's trying to build up these buildings in the battlefield. Now, it does have the stables behind at least, so. Hey, T90, what happened to Masters of Arena? I feel like you haven't cast since group stage. The schedule's been really inconsistent on when the games are played, so I've had a really hard time finding out when things are played. And I wanted to take a break from it anyways, because the games were getting kind of stale for me. When it's the last, like, I'll cast the final weekend of it. Maybe some I'll do this week as well, but I'm not, like, going to commit to, like, every series. Don't get me wrong, there could be some excellent games. But it's a lot of like cab and booming, and this person wins the Trebor, and then that game's over, right? It just wasn't quite keeping me as excited as I would. And I wanted to make sure that my excitement's high for the final week. So upgrades are flying in from blue. But we have a forward castle from red, and I love this as well, right? With this type of a push, you gain a position, you drop a castle with it, you continue with your trebs to take more of a position. The blue's suddenly spending a lot of that gold, though, on certain upgrades. And Beto, too. But still, I think it's going to be concerning for blue that blue doesn't really have the momentum with the faster Imperial. And I've got a lesson that I think blue can learn in this game, and everyone can learn. We'll talk about it later. But just using your timings, right? Remember when blue is in Castle Age faster? Wasn't able to use the timing there to be aggressive. Red in Imperial Age faster, really using the timings well here. I like it. So it's going to be a Beto with bomber cannons for blue. Gebetto's really good against Halb and Cav, actually. It's not too bad. Like, I think Gebetto, Camel, micro matters and all that. I think it might actually be the superior composition. But the concern for blue will be you could be attacked on so many different sides. And red, he could choose his battles pretty easily and then just fall back to his castle if he needs to. What does red see? Red can see these buildings. Red is adding more farms now. Yep, take a good position. Add more economy. That's nice. Blacksmith upgrades are crucial for both. Red still has more. And red's going to drop a Krepos now to protect these trebs too. I am a little concerned for red in this moment. I think the Gebetto could take out the Halbs. And the cannons could take out the trebs. But it's so tricky. Gebetto take out one treb. Gebetto take out the next treb. Red saving this treb. Uh-oh. Gebetto looking pretty strong. They were buffed recently, so they have, I think, a bit more attack and a bit more HP than they did in the past. They're still really fragile for a unique unit. It's still only 50 HP. But they do a ton of melee damage. And, you know, red? You're kind of falling off here a little bit, buddy. Where's your numbers? That should scare him to maybe pick up the pace with his production. I notice red also doesn't have a lot on gold. There is gold available, but he's not mining a ton of it. This is actually his only gold income right now. Oh, but red, realizing he's going to lose the middle, is going to change the point of attack. He goes in with the Cavalier here, takes out the majority of the bomber cannons, and then he rams into the side of blue's base. Woo! All right, here we go. Does blue notice this? I think blue's very focused here and doesn't know about this side attack. I love this move from red. Okay, blue just noticed. Now, guys, what does blue have to do? Obviously panic, right? But then the units have to go back home, which prevents blue from pushing. At least that's what should happen. The TC's actually taking out the Cav. Villager's going to take out the Rams. It seems to be the case anyways. But even just like 2 Cav in the woodline there is doing some real damage. Now, you want to use as little as possible to address this, and then push with some siege and some army right away if you're in blue's position, ideally. He's trying to buy a castle now. Doesn't really have the resources for it. Also, new Tigly is pretty good to help against raids, because TCs will fire arrows even if they're not garrisoned. Love this from blue on that gold. I've loved this castle for a long time. Red never saw it. Red, though, expanding over to this golden stone, so we'll have that. And I love it. Like, forget about taking good trades. Just use your Hussars to raid and be a pain. That's what red wants to do. So he's got 30 Hussars in queue. Yep, Hussar Halb, Hussar Halb, Hussar Halb. And then maybe some siege. Eco KD is nice, but means nothing in the end. It does mean a lot. I played a game yesterday in a tourney where I was taking worse trades. So the KD was like, I think at the end of the game, it was 800 for Nilly and I had 500 kills. That was the total KD, but the eco KD was 270 kills for me and 40 kills for him. So continuously raiding your opponent's economy means that if they're taking better fights, it becomes difficult for them to create more army in the long term. So they have better army. You can avoid that army, kill a bunch of ills, and then eventually you could take better trades against their main army. Is that making sense? Eco KD absolutely matters. And that's an amazing find there from the Hussars. Blue did the right thing to come forward here. We don't have Farimba, which is really sad, but blue doesn't really have the gold right now. And Seadram is now in from red. Man, if red just knew about this and was raiding underneath it and knew about this, blue would be in such a rough position. But blue, he's got the cannons ready. He's got like Gebetto, Camel. He's got a decent combination. He re-walled. He's got 2 relics. It's a super close game. Blue's also catching up on blacksmith techs, which red has not done. Red has a lot of blacksmith techs, but doesn't have the armor upgrade for the infantry, the attack, the armor. I mean, these are crucial upgrades that need to come in. Especially on the skirms. Like, the skirms are just kind of useless at this point with these upgrades. This is a great game, guys. These 2 players should be proud. Win or lose, both these players should be really pumped. And Red's thinking about map control, right? So he's going to make stables on the side and Crepos there. I like it. Who's going to start to push. So remember before, Red said that the time is now, pushed forward, and Blue struggled. Let's see what happens here. Red's going to see the siege. So the shoe's on the other foot now. And now Blue is ready to defend that siege with Cabeto and with the camels. Now, since it's Hussar, it's worth it to lose all your Hussars to kill gold units. So I actually like what Red has done here. We'll see if the Halb engagement makes as much sense. Obviously, if you're killing camels, again, a gold unit, you might not complain too much. Overall, I actually don't mind this fight for Red. It will look like he loses it because the Gabetto are going to kill all of his Halbs now, but there's no more camels. This is the beauty of just spamming trash units, guys. You don't have to fret about losing your units. There's 50 Hussars in queue. There's more Halbs in queue. And Blue's now even making Scorpions, actually. Trying to think of something else to maybe help against all this. Now, if Blue had upgrades on his own Cav, so if he had Light Cav and then had Farimba, which gives all that extra attack from Malians, I'd be liking his position a little bit better. But he really is at the limit with gold. Both players kind of are. They're spending gold, but they're not spending insane amounts of it. 1 Trebuchet doesn't do enough there for Red. And the saying to do not trickle Treb still holds true. Siege Ram push on the side from Red. Let's go. The first time he used the Siege Rams, it really helped to get him back in control of the game. And he dives in, similar to before. Ram push on the side, snipe the siege, he takes out the Treb. That's it. That castle's gone, man. Well played. And I would honestly just click these in towards the houses now if you can. There's just so many different things to look at right now, though. Yeah, Democracy just kind of snuck up on Blue there. Gotta love how the scouts are slowly taking out the Rams. Job done, though, at this point. It's a struggle, this game. Struggle to figure out what to do, but I would not suggest... I would not normally suggest to see skirmishers on the field against this type of composition. I suppose since Gabetto are so low HP that maybe it could help in some ways, but I guess the main issue is lack of upgrades. Gotta love Siege Ram. Let's see if Blue gets Farimba. I think if Blue gets Farimba, Blue wins this game. The Gabetto and then Farimba Cav combination would be really tough. I think the Bulgarian player would need to use the sides to win the game. Right, it's had the idea multiple times, but this side is still an option. This side has still not really been noticed. Still doesn't know that gold's been taken this whole time. Still doesn't know this gold's been taken the whole time. Or maybe he did send a unit over there and it died. That's if the units seem stronger for Blue. Red has to just keep trying with the raids and never give up. At least the Hussars are fully upgraded now. That's really good. But yeah, you're not going to be able to engage against the main army. Red needs to go 2 full two-handed swordsmen. It's the only way here. I disagree. I think you can use the units that you have now as long as it's the positioning of the army that matters the most. But I agree that mixing in some two-handed swordsmen could be helpful and work with the bonuses that the Bulgarians have. I think the best unit, the best thing that he should try, if we're talking units to change, would be Siege Onager. It's super cheap for the Bulgarians to get the siege upgrades. So just go Siege Onager near your castles, and Siege Onager can flatten this. Like, that's the best game changer, but I think I'd prefer even just regular Onager in combination with everything else. Red is desperate, guys, and Red is going to try something different. We've got the Siege coming from this side. We've got the castle as well. Now, that is just Farimba, okay? So Farimba doesn't mean that Blue's actually paying attention here. Blue's looking here. Blue's got a wonderful little death ball. The scorpions, the Gebetto, the camels. Hard to keep it all together. And hard to focus on the sides when you're dealing with this as well. Now, it's so tricky, man, especially for this rank. Like, Red needs to make sure that he's not tossing army here in this moment. He needs to mass a big ball for when Blue's distracted. Blue is probably very distracted right now. Ideally, Red, you'd have something to bust through here with. Like, the Rams need to help you there, and then you get into Blue's eco. But again, the concern right now is I am seeing units. It almost looks like he has his rally point set for all of his stables into Blue's economy, and it's just feeding kills. You just got to mass it all back on this hill and just wait it out. Oh, Farimba is on the way. So the cav for the Malians will be insane now. Oh, come on, Hussars, move! He tasked them all to go to that one piece of wall. Go! There we go. Blue's army composition is sick. And he's bringing the camels home, which is what Red wanted. So it would be, in theory, easier to take a fight here, but Blue's still got so much army. And again, that army feels very strong. Now, engaging against the castle won't be easy for you, Blue. So best of luck to you there. But, you know, still no Bod Canero on the castles and range units for Red. Blue's going to clear those Rams. The bomber cannons are also there. And then a castle to solidify the control of the middle. Wow. What a great job from Blue. Very impressed with how he dealt with that. So many people send too much to deal with the raid or too little. It seems like it was just right. And clears up the trebs. We'll clear up this push. Red's going to try. Yeah, Red doesn't have, you know, a real ball here. Ideally, you then have a raid on the left side, too, and you just kind of keep this cycle going. But, I don't know, man. It's good distraction for now. And he's now realizing, crap, I missed these upgrades. At least on Bulgarians. At least the techs come in faster. This is a good map, man. And a good game. Both players won over 100 villagers. Both players with varied unit compositions. Again, though, I think like Onager would be sick here. I had a game very similar to Red just yesterday, and in hindsight, I was Slavs. I was thinking going Onager against, it was Chakrams, not Gebetto, would have been a really good idea. Like, raiding on the sides is huge, but what you want when you're raiding is you want one big moment in the key battle where everything changes, and I think Siege helps with that the most. Also, Dr. Eugene, thanks for clarifying. I'm sure a lot of people were confused. Man, the new Farimba's insane. What? Dude, they really buffed Farimba. Or not, did I say Farimba? I meant to say Tigui, sorry. That's insane. That Hussar died so fast. Yeah, and Rams just get wrecked by the Gebetto. I think Red might tap out here soon. He doesn't seem to have any real plan anymore. He is going Onager. Okay. So he is going to try that. But it's in these moments that Blue could actually go for the finishing blow. You've got the walls on the sides. He's re-walling any gaps. He's got Siege to now push the Krepos and whatever else. And while Onager would be helpful, I don't know where these things are going. While Onager will be helpful, you're still going to have to keep them alive somehow. Farimba adds extra attack to the cav. It adds +5 attack onto your cav. So you have 12 +2 after all the blacksmith upgrades available to the Malians. But then with Farimba, it goes to +7. So that's why the camels are +7. Tigui means your TCs fire arrows. And they fire arrows when they're not garrisoned. And they changed it recently. I always felt like it was kind of nice, but I feel like they maybe felt like Malians weren't seeing the tech enough, so they just kind of buffed it. Malians are 100% one of the best civs in the game right now. They could do everything. Well, they can't realistically do everything, but they're extremely flexible with great economy. Great early, mid, and late game. They're one of the best. Oh, God. Ay, ay, ay. T90 random question. I like Byzantines, but not sure what gold units to go for in general. Well, the thing about Byzantines is... Oh, wow. Oh, Onager, 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 Blue, you haven't won the game yet. Onager, I hardly know her. What's going on here, buddy? Blue, don't throw, my friend. He might have been a little distracted. Okay. Anyways, I think he was adding some gates. He's still going to kill the Onagers. So, the answer is it depends. With Byzantines, you kind of... I think you need to generally go through archers for gold, and then you play in towards what your opponent may be doing with counter units, right? So if you go archers and they go skirms, you can match that with your own skirms, or just go into, like, cav, right? But yeah, in general, you're building up towards, like, a general gold unit. You want the archer line with Byzantines, because they have full upgrades there. There obviously is a world where in late game you can go for the Cataphract, which is the ultimate gold unit, and is really good against most things in the game. But you can't go into every game just saying, let's go Cataphract. Wow, Red really needs more stables. He's got 40 Hussars in queue. Oh, actually, you know what it is? He's not producing out of all of his stables. I wonder how he's doing this, if that's the case. It's kind of weird. He's got 7 on screen. He's only producing out of 2? I must be missing some. Over here? Yeah, like, if Red had more production buildings, I think the Hussar waves would be a lot more devastating. I don't like Malians because of no Bracer. Okay, fair enough. I mean, the fact that they don't have Bracer is what is stopping them from being stupid overpowered. Like, if they Bracer as well, I think it would be really tricky. They do have a weakness in that. But the fact that you could still play into archers quite easily in early game and mid game, and ballistics can be faster, chemistry can be faster, all that stuff is awesome. So, okay, here comes the Hussars. Now the camels aren't in front, which is what you would want. And Red says, I'm not done yet, fool. I'm not done. What a game, guys. And let's see if the Onager can make a big difference here. Because if the Gebetto are out of the picture, then suddenly Halb could do something again. Wow, Gebetto is still good against Siege. Wow, what a big clear up. I appreciate the fighting spirit both these players have here. Thank you, everyone, to the people who've been saying congrats, by the way. Very happy about my result yesterday. This is just where unit control is tricky. But I think Red could still win the game. He needs to pick his battles. He needs to stop Blue from going for a significant push with the Siege here. And then find his moments. And instead of going in with 1 Onager at a time, go in with like 3 at a time. 1 or 2 of them die. And then enough shots connect. But Blue needs to be... Yeah, Blue's doing it now. You need to be pushing all the time. That way the guy can't think about raiding you again. Make him pay a price, right? If he raids you, make sure that you're killing his base. But he's kind of doing it now. He's got camels here he's even forgotten about. Both have the same amount on... or similar amounts on gold right now. I think there's just too much pressure for Red to be able to keep up with things. But yeah, more production buildings would definitely be good. Different rally points would be good. But it's all happening right in front of his base. So it's just tough for him. I don't think at 900 elo that Red has the skill to be able to perform a comeback here. I think it's doable at the pace in which Blue's pushing for Red to somehow make it happen. and he continues to try, for example, this is kind of funny. Hussars are going to break through the wall. Because, like, blue is also pushing a little bit slower than maybe some people watching might want. But they're similar skill, right? And this is just such a tough position to ever break. But honestly, I really impressed with how Red played the game, and I'm going to talk about a couple things to give Red some tips and give you guys some tips on how to maybe get a win from this game. Just a really good back and forth match. Okay, so the Hussars could actually run through now. And blue, maybe realizing that's the case, is going to drop a castle there. Hussars here are trying to go through. More stables from red. Still not willing to give it up. As tons of res. Still just slowly losing all of his Hussars to camels and Gabetto. Guys, these 24 Gabettos have 98 kills. Holy crap, man. For 24 units, that's a lot. Holy. GG, brother, says Red. Good game. I love Red. What a game. And Blue says GG, well played. That's what I'm talking about, people. A good old slog. A game that was well played on both sides, and the good old GGs. I like to hear it. So, I don't know if they're going to talk more. We'll see. But I want to give some tips, okay? Because this game is back and forth. I know there's slight tweaks on either side that could have made the difference for both players. So, obviously for Red, I think if Blacksmith upgrades were in a little bit earlier, life would have been different, right? And we talked about maybe switching the composition, right? Going for the two-handed swordsman, you know, going for the siege onager. All those things could have maybe happened. Here's the res collected, by the way. Still very close in this game. But I want to talk about what's going to make your life easier here, okay? Because Red had the right idea, but it was at difficult points he had to try it, okay? So, we're with the raids, okay? So, I think at this elo, and the majority of elos, what you don't want is you don't want to have to go for these types of side plays when you're already falling behind in the middle, okay? So, the moment for that, the time for that, is when you push the mid. So, look, he took the position, right? And at this point, he can't necessarily assess whether or not this is just going to end the game, right? But as you're pushing the position, this is where you want to be like outpost, 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 couple buildings, right? Now, later on in the game, Red does this, okay? But notice what has happened when Red did that. Red is doing that because he's encountered a bad situation, and he's like, oh no, I need to do something else. So instead, what you could do for yourself, and again, easier said than done, but I'm speaking this into your brains, okay? Your brains are all sponges, and you're going to soak up this knowledge and use it, is when you take a position in the game, and your opponent is in that spot where they're like, oh crap, I need to deal with this, and they can't think about anything else, that is when you take these positions. Does that make sense? Is that clicking? So, it's like you take one area of the map in order to then make sure you can focus on the other area of the map because you know your opponent cannot. It is much easier for you to focus on doing the side stuff, building up on those angles when you have just won a fight. It is much more difficult to do it when you're already losing in the middle. Now, that's just experience talking. I've played/watched this game over 20,000 hours. You guys are probably not even like a tenth of that. So I understand it's easier said than done, but just some things to talk about, all right? And you can apply that logic to like anything in the game, right? So make something good happen for yourself and bad for the opponent, and use those moments to expand, whether that be unit type, the sky's kind of the limit. But it was a great fight. Great fight. I also think Malian units are just really strong. 763 kills, 355 deaths for Blue. Blue showed, at least with his start, that he was definitely more suited for this map. The castle time was really good. The concern I had for Blue, really, was that he didn't I think he just stayed on the hunt too long, right? Like, he didn't get the farming eco going. It's okay, I think, to opt for the economy approach, which he did. But my concern for him was at one point he only had like 10 farms. His opponent had 30. But that's the Nomad map for you, and it's all about timings. And God, this game's so good. Age of Empires is just so good. Literally one game, so many different possibilities. And we're gonna upload a new game tomorrow on YouTube, and it's gonna be another game with infinite numbers of possibilities. I love it. Age of Empires is so sick, man. Not to mention like the civs and like the uniqueness there and just the flavor of the game. I'm obsessed.